So a few weeks ago, I lost my most trusted piece of golf technology and I got myself a replacement. And I thought, wow, what a great opportunity to re-review something that I use on a daily basis on the golf course, something I think is really part of this show. I get more comments about this piece of technology than anything we've ever tested. So today we're taking another look at the Garmin G80. This will be my re-review 6 years later of something that I think is very special and something that deserves a closer look. We're gonna unbox this, we're gonna take it out on course, I'll show you all the features. Let's get to work. All right, here's the Garmin box. Garmin, for the last, as long as I've been doing this show, uses this same gray looking box. It's so consistent, I love that. Garmin, please never change your boxes. As you can see, this device is a touch screen. It's also IPX7 water rated, and it's got 15 hours of battery life. I will tell you, having used my device for years now, it lasts me weeks, many rounds before I have to ever think about charging this device. Here it is. It is like a cell phone. I've always just loved, again, the shape and the ergonomics of this G80 in particular. It's like a mini iPhone, basically. There's some plastic here, which we're gonna rip off, but there it is. Now you've got a power button there, you've got kind of a mode switching button here on the side, and that's it. Everything else happens touch screen. It's small, it's lightweight, it just feels perfect in hand. Now inside the box, you've got some things here which I have never used. I honestly don't even know what that is. I know you're getting a review of something that I use day in and day out, but I don't know what these do. I think they're to attach this somewhere, but I don't think you're ever gonna need those, so we'll get those out of there. You've also got a really high quality Garmin carabiner. Also, I've never used that. You're never gonna need that. Now you do have a belt clip here with a couple attachments, and you've also got the charging cable and a manual, which again, I'm gonna be your manual here for today, so we're not gonna need that as well, but that's what's inside the box. Now it's time for the good stuff. Let's take it out on course so I can show you just how amazing this thing is. All right, we're gonna go ahead and fire this baby up. Like I said, the power button's right there on the right side. All right, now when this device starts up, it's gonna ask you what language. English is up at the top there. You can choose yards or meters. I'm going yards here today. Then it's gonna ask you to set your normal driver distance. For me right now, that's about 260. And what that's gonna do is just give us an idea when we go to the map of the hole, what hazards could potentially be in that way. Now, up at the top left, you've got the signal strength, and you can see I just locked onto some satellites there. This is all coming off of the Garmin satellites. You've got the battery indicator up top. Right now I've got 91% here out of the box. All right, so here's our home screen. Now you can see we've got start a new round. We can warm up with this and just use it like a launch monitor. I will be using it like a launch monitor here on course. If you're using this for practice, you can also do tempo training, which is really useful. You've got target practice, where you can literally set some targets to shoot at with 100 yards, 150 yards, and dial in your distances. And then you've literally got a virtual round, which is a simulator built into the G80. Just like the R10, R50, you can actually play a simulated round of golf. Now, it's not gonna be nearly the type of graphics those devices would provide, but it's still fun nonetheless, and it kind of elevates the practice session. The fact they put that in here, it's just an extra added bonus, which I think is so fun. All right, so we're gonna start a new round here. As you can see, we're gonna load the nearest courses to us. Now today, I am actually playing the Meadow side. So I'm gonna hit Meadow to Pine here at Carrollwood Country Club. You can choose your tee box. I'll be playing the white tees. And now I've got an overview of this hole. Now, I'm actually starting this video on the 4th hole. You can see the 4th hole designated up top. And if you wanted to change the hole, you could do that, but just goes to show you how good their GPS is and knows exactly where I am on the course, and it puts me there. So as you can see, I've got my driver distance line that we set there, and you can see on the right-hand side, I could actually make it into some water. I've also got a bunker here in front that's potential hazard as well. So I've got to hit a pretty straight one here. You have idea of where maybe to lay up to if you wanted to touch this. You could say, okay, I want to hit a 237 shot here to have about a 100-yard shot in, 97 yards, and you can play around with that. Everything is touch screen. The main distances to the hole here, we've got 326 to the center from where I'm standing, and now I'm actually about 20 yards in front of the tee box, so we're going to be going back here a little bit. You've got 339 to the back and 314 to the front. So all that information is handy for you on the layout of this screen. I think they really nailed the layout on this device. Now, by the way, if you are looking to purchase anything Garmin, you're gonna get the best price over at my friends Playbetcom. In fact, if you're gonna purchase anything in golf technology world, they've got the best prices on the internet. They've got the best customer service, free 48-hour shipping across the continental United States. They are all about the customer. This is a small family-owned business. It's not a big conglomerate. When you call them, you're gonna speak to someone in their office in Baltimore, my hometown. They are just the best in the business. And again, you can explore their site for any golf technology you're looking for. So let's go up to the tee box, hit a shot, and I'll show you some more of what this G80 can do on course. Now that I'm on the tee box, if you can see here, I've got my distances, 348 to the center, 336 to the front, and 361 to the back up there in the top right. Now there's some more features here that we can use on course. One that I use all the time is on this screen, but as you can see, we have a scorecard built into this, and we've got this measure shot feature. If I hit begin measurement, it's gonna start from 0, and as I move, this little counter is gonna count up and tell me exactly how far I hit that shot. To me, this is invaluable to the reviews I make because I need to test and see if one club can beat out the other or how far I hit shots with different types of irons. It's so useful, but it can be useful to you out on the golf course too, just to kind of figure out your bag and how far you hit everything. All right, I'm gonna go mini driver here and hopefully put us in the fairway. See, I'm glad I backed off the driver because I'm heading right towards that bunker and we're actually gonna be short of it, whereas if I would have hit the driver there, I probably would have been in it. So that little line is absolutely handy. Now, as we're walking up to the ball, you can see this number is moving up. And with my little 3-wood swing there, 208 is the number. I can actually save every shot in my round just like I could with their watches. I don't ever use this function, but it's really nice if you want to track your round and go back to see the round history. Now, as you get a little closer, we're going to get a green view and we can actually set where that pin is on the green and get a much more accurate GPS number. So to the flag now, I've got 142. And for me, that's going to be right now a 9 iron. So if we again go back to our measure shot, I'm gonna go ahead and zero this out, pull out my club, and take a rip. See if we got that distance right. Oh yeah, we got ourselves a birdie putt. So I actually hit it just a little too far. I hit this shot 146. So I'm just off here on the fringe, but like I said, we've got putter in hand. Now the greens are in really bad shape, so I'm gonna do my best. Please wish me luck, because anything could happen. Boy, that wasn't too bad, was it? So now that I know I've got my par here, there's actually a scorecard built into this, and as you can see, we can have up to 4 players playing with us. I never use this feature, to be quite honest with you, but it's there if you want it. And on the 4th hole here, I'm gonna hit my name, and I am gonna say 4 strokes. So you've pretty much seen everything there is for this on course. You can continue to use this, and we could play all the holes here today using it, but I think you kind of get the picture. The next really important feature, the way I use this particular device, is to use it as a launch monitor. And again, this is a way where I can compare clubs, and not only that, compare swings, because I can see some really key factors that will let me know if I hit a good shot or a bad shot. So if I just hit this side button here, it's now going to take us from like on-course golf mode to launch monitor mode, and you can always go back to that other mode very easily just hitting the button. Now, as you can see up top, you've got estimated carry and roll is what this defaults to, but if I were to scroll over here, I could just see my estimated carry, or I could also have carry and roll on top and just carry on the bottom. I'm going to leave it like that here right now. I'm also going to be able to get club head speed, ball speed, my smash factor, and my swing tempo if I want that. But these metrics are going to be really important to me, at least, testing golf clubs, and I think could be important to your average golfer if you are deciding between clubs or if you just want to see how your swing is doing throughout the round. Now, in order to use this, it's very simple. You just literally need to place it in front of your ball about 12 inches or less. All right, just to the right of the ball if you're a righty, or just to the left of the ball if you're a lefty. It is an ambidextrous model. So that's where I would place it. Now, if I had a second ball, I could use the little indent here in the device to actually place that so I can see it a little better, but it's not necessary. You can also just lie flat on the ground next to the ball, and that's what we're gonna do here. So I took a pretty good swing at that. As you can see, my club head speed on that shot was 105. My ball speed leaving the club was 149. My smash was 141. What does that tell me? It tells me that it wasn't the best strike I could possibly have had. In fact, that was a little off the toe. I could feel that. But we have confirmation there in the smash factor. And if you're new to golf, 1.5 is the maximum that's allowable. And so that's kind of like what you're aiming for. And anything below that, you know, could be a little better. Up top, we've got our estimated carry as well as our estimated carry and roll. Now, the carry and roll can, by the way, be adjusted. So you can actually say if the conditions are firmer or if they're softer. This is going to give you an idea. I would say the carry number is going to be much more accurate in real life. The other thing there is my tempo. 3 is kind of what I am looking for, but 3.2 isn't too bad there in terms of tempo. But I know I was just a little bit quick there, and that's probably why that shot was going just a little bit left, because my tempo was just a bit off. So this data, again, is just kind of the basics, but really the best basics, and really what's helpful to me out on course while I'm evaluating clubs. So you're probably wondering, how accurate are those carry numbers and those carry and rollout numbers? The carry numbers, again, is kind of what I would focus on. I don't think any launch monitor really gets the true full rollout number right, just because there's so many things to consider. Right now it's morning, it's dewy. Also, these fairways are actually a little bit aerated. You could hit sand and stop the ball. The rough will slow the ball down. There are so many factors happening out on a golf course. But the carry numbers I have found over the years using this device to be really accurate. Garmin states plus or minus 5 yards in terms of accuracy, which I think is really good considering the profile of this device. If you compare it against something much more expensive, much more bulky, something like the GC Quad, the Bushnell, the iMinis of the world, those types of devices are going to be slightly more accurate, but not that much more accurate compared to what this little thing can do, which just blows my mind. So I find oftentimes that carry number to be within better than 5 yards, plus or minus. I would say more often than not it is. All right, so a couple other features that you should know about that are built into this. You've got your scorecard as I showed you. You've got the measure shot, which I showed you. You've also got a pinpointer. And what the pinpointer will do is literally orient you to wherever the hole is compared to your location. I find that to be decent, but it doesn't always work perfectly, but it gives you an idea of where that hole might be. A couple of other features that I think are really handy here. You've got plays-like distances, which you can just toggle on. That is going to now give us slope-adjusted distances while we're out on the course. We still have all of those numbers that are so important to all the different hazards on the course and the different features of this particular hole, but now they're slope adjusted. If you are a person that struggles with your eyesight, it also has a big numbers mode. And what that does is it removes the map from the screen, and instead it just shows you in big numbers how far it is to the center, the front, and the back of this hole. So for the seniors out there, for others that struggle with eyesight, it could be something that is helpful for you. One thing to note though, the big numbers mode is really just for the on-course mode. It does not change that launch monitor mode. The other thing here is tournament mode. Now this is going to make this device tournament legal. So if you're playing a USGA event, for instance, you can't have slope. So we could turn on tournament mode. I don't know if you saw that, but slope actually went away. But when tournament mode is enabled, the following features are disabled: plays like distance, the pinpointer, and the green zoom. So if you're playing a tournament, you can have peace of mind that you're not breaking any rules out there. So again, those are the main features that I use here on course, but there are again some pretty fun practice features built into this one. Let me go ahead and show you next here how the simulator works. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and end my round here. You can save all your rounds. Again, you can go back and look at all the stats if you were to track all your shots out on course. I'm gonna go ahead and discard that round though, and then I'll delete that scorecard. We're not gonna use that because I only played one hole with it. I'm gonna go back here to the main menu, and as you can see, we've got virtual round. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that button. You can play a tournament with your friends, or you can just choose a course, which is what I'll do. I'm gonna play one player here, and I can just search a course near me. I can spell out the city, or I can spell out the course. I'm gonna go ahead and just search near me. Since I'm already locked onto the satellites, you can see I'm playing the Meadow course. So why not play that one? I'm playing from the white tees. And now in real time, this is so cool. It actually brings me to the hole I'm on. And you can see on screen here, this is a little dogleg right. There's water on the right. There's a little bunker there. And the green is pretty well bunkered as well. From where I'm standing, it's 356. I'm gonna do the same thing, set this up next to me, to the right of me, hit a shot. It's gonna be pretty cool. Let me show you. All right, so I'm gonna hit a shot here. My buddy Sean is actually going to show us what's happening on the Garmin. It's more dangerous than it looks, I promise. Wait, was that a Freudian slip? It's less dangerous than it looks, I promise. So what do we get right away? We get an estimated carry of 230. It said it hit the fairway. It's looking like it's right smack dab in the middle of the fairway, whereas if you saw that shot on the shot tracer, it was actually fading a little bit. I hit a fade here on this dogleg right. So that's gonna be one of the limitations of this very basic launch monitor, but still, I think this is a lot of fun. All right, this is pretty crazy because as you can see, here's our fairway bunker. I am probably just, I don't know, maybe 3 yards from the end of where this bunker is. And take a look here where our red dot is on the screen. It's almost the exact same spot. Now I can't promise this is gonna happen all the time, but pretty crazy that with the one shot we took here with the simulator built into the G80, it was that accurate. Wild stuff. All right, so according to the G80, by the way, I've got 126. This is setting a random pin in the middle of the green, but let's see in real life what it is to the pin. It's 124. So again, I would not normally do this out on course, play with this simulator, but talk about just how fun it is to use this in a practice session out on the range. You're actually gonna get scarily accurate numbers, which is wild. All right, so I've got the device just a couple inches from me. Sean's in position. I've got pitching wedge in hand. Good strike. I think I hit that about 125. So according to the Garmin, I hit it 128. I actually got to a 1 putt because I was in the circle 2 yards from the pin, and it gives me a birdie. So there's not gonna be any putting involved here. It's gonna have a few different rings, and if you get inside those rings, it's either a 3 putt, a 2 putt, or a 1 putt. For me there, it was a 1 putt. Let's see what it was in real life. I'm curious. All right, so here's where our ball is in real life. It was a great shot. I don't know if it was as good as the Garmin showed, but it's only 3, 6, 7 feet from the pin. So Garmin's got this as a 1 putt for me, as you saw there. See if I can do it in real life. All right, so in real life, it's actually a par. I'll take Garmin on that one with the birdie. But as you can see, a really fun way to elevate your practice sessions, and it's really accurate as well. So just so much packed into this device. Like I said, you've also got a tempo trainer that's not only built into the launch monitor, but you could just use it as its own out on the range. This device does so much for the money. Now let's talk about the money. So when this one first came out, it was $499 MSRP, and that price stayed pretty much the same forever. Now I've seen that price drop just this year with the introduction of the G20. And so now I'm starting to see these hover closer to the $400 mark. And Play Better sometimes actually offers these as an open box, and you can get it at even a deeper discount. So I think there is so much value packed into this one. Now, it's not the perfect device either, and I don't want you to think that. There's definitely some things I would change about this device, but you gotta remember, they made this device back in 2019. So the first thing I'd say I would change, and it's really the elephant in the room, is the screen. If I could ever ask Garmin for an update to this device, it would be to include an AMOLED screen. Something like their new S70 watch, for instance. Beautiful screens that are so bright. The one thing we actually struggled with making this video is that this screen is not super bright, and you've got to get it at just the right angle in order for me to show you what's on screen. So that'd be one big thing that I would love to see updated, but I can still live with it. I've lived with it for 6 years. The touchscreen does work well, and you can definitely see it out on course. It would be nice if it was a little bit brighter. The second thing that I would change or update about this device, if they ever make a new one, would be to include some sort of magnetic attachment like we get with modern rangefinders. That case that's included could easily have a magnet attached to it. I could probably even see someone 3D printing it, and that may already exist, for instance, for this device. And if it does, let me know down below. I'd love to know, but it would be nice if there was some sort of magnetic attachment, because it's the perfect device just to have in front of you to just see distances, because you don't have to use all the features I showed you here today. You could just literally use this as an onboard cart GPS. As you can see, my cart doesn't have a screen or anything, so a magnet would be an awesome inclusion as well. The last thing I think that could just hold people back here, we talked about price already, is the price. It is an expensive device. It's definitely a rock solid device because, again, I can tell you from my own experience, I've used it for 6 years and have never had an issue with mine up until I lost it and had to replace it. It's a very waterproof device. I've actually dumped this in the water when my bag fell in the water. There's so many good things about it, but the price is going to hold a few people back, I think. But like I said, right now you can find these on a deal. Now, how about this G80 versus the new device that we just recently reviewed here on Let's Play Through, the G20? The G20 is a solar powered version. That would be another thing that they could add to the G80, which would make it amazing. But there are some drawbacks to that G20. First of all, it being a black and white screen. In order to get that extended battery life, they had to make some concessions. So I would would still take the G80 over the G20 personally. The G20 is going to be $299 device. This is again going to be, I think you could find it for around $400 to $499, somewhere in there anyways. But I do think the value is there for me. So all in all, what's my rating for this device? 6 years on, I'd say it's a 5 out of 5. It's the only device that stayed in my bag this long, and it's the only device that I'll continue to keep in my bag for as long as this product life cycle continues. If they ever do update it with some of those features, I will certainly be the first one to update it and review it here for you on Let's Play Through. But for me, this is about as perfect as a piece of golf technology is. And there aren't that many things in life, especially when it comes to technology, that I can say that about. We live in a world where we're constantly getting the new thing. We're getting the new iPhone or Samsung Galaxy or whatever the case may be. Electronics have become disposable, so it's nice to have something that's got staying power, and the G80 has for me, and that's why I absolutely love this device. I hope you've loved this review. If you did, please hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you back here next time on another edition of Let's Play Through.